In September 2018, a Twitter account by the name of Pseudonym, or Akela, tweeted a link to a Telegram channel with the statement, "No more covering for these people." After exposing what appeared to be a group of furries who would engage in animal and tagging lots of furry personalities, this furry set the ball rolling for one of the biggest fights for justice in our fandom. And acts of questionable behavior were put under the spotlight in search for a better community. This phenomenon was known around furries as the 2018 Furry Suicide Leaks, and it took with it 11 people, including one very popular furry YouTuber named Kero the Wolf. Hi everyone, this is Xylee the Fox, and welcome to a brand new video.
You know what? I'm gay. I'm gay. Gay. Totally fabulous.
This controversy triggered off a series of investigations in group where both furries and the Pennsylvania Police Department collaborated to shed light on this matter. Long story short, after 2 years of silence and an open file for this furry, he came clear claiming he was innocent. But to be honest, I did not believe such thing. In fact, many took a stance and took their distance from him, suggesting he should leave the fandom after everything altogether. I wouldn't like to go deeper in the topic because many have already delved into it, and I would be extremely redundant if I made a video on that again. And also, personally speaking, this topic kinda hurts because I used to watch his channel a lot back in the day. So if you want to learn more on the topic, you can hit this video which covers the whole thing, the whole case thoroughly and from quite a neutral perspective if you want to get a little more insight on it. Let's acknowledge though the new elephant in the room, and that has to do with the seemingly never-ending mark this whole situation left in our fandom. On a related chain of events, this week furry Twitter saw a big hit when the trailer of an AMC Plus series, which will cover this whole case, was published. I do get the mess going around since most times furries outputs in the big screen, it's either to criticize or to mock us around. This is a topic which I already covered in a previous video called Furries and Mass Media, but the question remains as to whether should we worry or not about this upcoming series. I do have to acknowledge that I jumped into conclusions myself when I first saw the post and the picture of Kero the Wolf. Like me, many did the same. Even if you go to the comment section on the trailer here on YouTube, you'll see the same discourse. Everyone was complaining about the fact that this was going to set us back decades. However, this, at least for me, might be the result of a very well-recognized trauma that we furries seem to have after years and years of being put under the role of that one odd dude being mocked in high school. But here's the thing, even though the community acted, and even though most of those involved vanished or were cast out, there's a reason why, all these years later, we're still scared when this topic resurfaces. And we saw that fear spike again recently when AM Plus released the trailer for this documentary series revisiting this very case.
People involved in this story are
furries.
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 What is a furry?
So this is the twist that I think could explain what's going on. Maybe this new series isn't actually trying to hurt us as we had initially assumed. Maybe it's doing quite the opposite, and that is what I want you guys to have in mind for the rest of the video. From what we know so far, the AMC Plus docuseries isn't just about bizarre internet drama. After watching it a few times and reading on the AMC webpage, I could see that it's all about accountability, and in a way, I understood it was about justice. It's about how an online community often dismissed or mocked, like us, came together to uncover something horrific and, in a way, refused to look away. After reading this, I came to the conclusion that maybe the series is not what we thought it was going to be. We are in a way traumatized, and this is why I want to bring the concept of justice to the table of discussion. Justice is the key reason why this docuseries was originally made. The fact that Kiro never paid for what he did, or that he is still around, you know, he is on Twitter, I mean, that's what I saw, shows that sometimes justice is not completely served. This is something that could be interpreted like this. Justice is a term that we should understand as being in the middle, as something neutral, while at its extremes should be injustice. We can understand then that these two extremes as having either nothing fall on someone or complete vengeance, which is mankind at its wildest version. That is why having our point fall either in each extreme of the paper, it's an unfair resolution. The concept of justice brings that into the discussion. Once we see the tension between justice and vengeance, I would suggest that we also see the deconstruction suggested by Jacques Derrida, particularly on his essay on forgiveness. Derrida talks about how justice is never fully present or complete. It's always an ideal we strive for, and often it gets confused with vengeance when emotions run high. He suggests that the legal system can only approximate to justice, and that true justice is something more elusive, more ethical and rooted in memory, responsibility, and collective action. And I really do hope that you see what I'm trying to do here. Furries had a key role in the story. It wasn't the police who first uncovered the zoo sadists. It was us, it was the furry fandom. Furries, regular people, artists, writers, YouTubers even, we said no. We won't protect abusers, we won't make excuses, we will expose this even if it hurts, even if it means questioning someone we used to admire. That's the story that I believe the series might be telling. Not that furries are dangerous, but that we furries actually care, that we act, that we hold our own accountable sometimes better than institutions do. It is true that Kiro the wolf never went to jail despite all the evidence he had. It is, therefore, logical to assume that the official system never delivered the kind of resolution many hoped for, and that is the feeling of injustice that comes with the rage many feel. However, that is why I believe the series might come in as a sort of collective justice, not because it's dramatic, but because it refuses to forget. In a way, it becomes a form of delayed justice. Not through court or jail time, but through collective memory and public truth-telling. It gives voice to the people who exposed abuse when no one else would. It reminds us that even if the legal system failed, we didn't. The fandom didn't. And that's something worth showing the world. On the other hand, I do get why people are afraid. I really do. We've been misrepresented before. It just takes a CSI episode to know that, if you know what I mean. But that misleading view was closely linked with the fact that there wasn't too much information available back in the day. Today, there is. This time, there was a whole investigation done by both law enforcement authorities and furries. So I am sure this series is here to serve that collective justice that we lost back in 2020. Not to put a final period, but to enrich collective memory and to make abusers think twice before engaging in this type of behavior. Let's also not forget what we are actually afraid of here. And I am not trying to show that all of the furry fandom is like this, but we have a common fear. We are not scared of what others have done in the community. We are scared of how people might twist it, and therefore the label they would put on us. And that was also a reason for us to go crazy when we saw Kiro on the trailer. But if this series is honest, if it tells a story of how we exposed the truth, how we demanded justice, and how we protected each other, then it's not a schmear piece. It's a testament. And if people outside the fandom see that, well, maybe they'll understand something we have known for years. And that is that the furry fandom is not just a group of silly people dressing up or weird internet jokes. We're a community that cares deeply about its own and takes action when that safety is threatened.
It's time that the furry fandom take a stand.
We nicknamed ourselves the Furvengers. Let's get these guys.
I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this whole thing. I know this story was relatively old, and some of you might not know it, but it's important that you guys know your history so that you can make a brighter future. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends if you enjoy this perspective. See you guys in the next one. Take good care of yourselves, everyone. Meow!
you.